Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. Welcome back. Come in, come in, come in. Sit down. Let's stay a while. Let's chat. Let's do some makeup because today is a fantastic makeup day. I'm having such a wonderful makeup day. I really am not going to toot my own horn, but toot toot, because yes ma'am, so loving this eye look that I did today. I've never done anything quite like this before. I know that blue and brown are a match made in heaven. Everybody's done it. Everybody knows that they go so beautifully together. I'm not sure why it never has occurred to me to put these two colors together. I've seen it done. But today I sat down and wanted to do something that I haven't done before. So I went through all of my photos and I was like, I've never done blue and brown. So let's see if we can kind of make it our own. And I really did. I really enjoyed, I'm really enjoying what I came up with today. Of course, I used all drugstore makeup because y'all know that's kind of my thing. But we did it really good. We did really good today. I can't wait to share with you what I used. We'll start with what I put on my face. I feel like I have finally got my base to a point where I am so happy with it. It looks so fresh, so natural, but it looks very youthful. I feel like it brings like such a life, so much more life to my face. What I'm using right now, I'm so in love with it. And not only that, but I have zero setting powder. Zero setting powder anywhere on my face. And my face is not sticky. Everything is set. Everything is blended. Everything is very beautiful. I'm so happy with it. This, though, I really want to share with you. I've seen this. I've seen it on YouTube. I've seen it on Facebook. I've heard a lot of people talk about this foundation. And I finally broke down and I bought a bottle of it. And the only reason I actually bought this was because it was on sale on Amazon. I got the shade number 27. This is the Maison. Let me show you guys the box. This is the Misha. The Misha. So this is the box that came in. It's the Misha Perfect Cover BB Cream. Misha M Perfect Cover BB Cream innovatively pairs makeup and skincare with a BB cream that helps brighten skin tone, care for wrinkles, prevent signs of aging, and heals blemishes while providing excellent coverage. Now, I don't know about the long-term skincare effects of this since today is the first time that I've used it, but I will tell you it is an absolutely beautiful foundation. I have super dry skin, like dried up, dusty old mummy dry skin, and wow. I put very little of this on my face. You guys know that I'm not like a full coverage kind of gal. I feel like you could totally get full coverage with this though. I used the smallest amount of this foundation and really just kind of like barely put any on my face. It evened my skin tone in such a beautiful way. It looks like if you were to even look up close at my skin, you can't tell that I have base on. You can tell that I have a little bit of concealer on, but like this foundation is so good. It is so fantastic. I am so happy that I finally got some. I am definitely gonna have to go back on Amazon and get some restocks of this because I can see myself using this every single day. So good. It's not settled. I've had it on for about an hour and a half now. It has not settled into any of my wrinkles. It has not exaggerated any of my fine lines. It looks so beautiful on my skin. I am so happy with this. Again, this is the Misha Perfect Cover BB Cream. I got mine in the shade number 27. I feel like it on Amazon, it said that 27 is the highest coverage, and then most of the other ones don't have so much coverage. But if you are anywhere near my skin tone, you can totally make this work for you. It is so good. If you have dry skin, I highly recommend. The next thing that I used was, let's talk about my kind of like cream bronzer situation. So I've been using this. This is the L'Oreal Infallible Full Wear Concealer. I love this stuff for cream bronzing. I couldn't find a shade that I was really good that I thought would work well for me as like a cream contour. But this is really, really beautiful. It's got just the right amount of warmth to it, but it doesn't pull orange. Like, I have the hardest time trying to find a cream bronzer that doesn't pull orange on me. It is so crazy, but this is so beautiful. It's just got the right amount of warmth to it that it like brings life to my face, and kind of gives my face just a little bit of shape in that kind of like sun-kissed glow, without turning me orange or making it look super fake or like I tried to fake tan. This is really, really beautiful. This is in the shade 395. This is Walnut. I also enjoy the shade Toffee as well. I used the shade Toffee in my last video, but I do find that I like this one. It's just a bit lighter, and it has more of a gray undertone to it than Toffee does. It's not quite as warm. So I would use Toffee more for the winter. Or not the winter, but for the summer. But as we're transitioning into winter, I feel like this shade is a bit better for me. For blush today, I used this Colourpop. This is the Colourpop Pressed Powder Blush. I just love the packaging. This actually came from my missing Colourpop order. If you guys have watched any of my like unboxing videos or my recent unboxing videos, you will know that I was very sad. I lost one of my Colourpop shipments, but it finally came in and this was in it. This is just a really, really beautiful pressed powder blush. This is in the shade Foxy. Just a really beautiful peachy blush, but it's got very, very fine I want to say gold glitter, like micro glitters in it. It doesn't look glittery on the cheek, but it does give you this beautiful kind of like glow. It is so, so gorgeous. This is definitely one of my new favorite blushes. It's not too peachy, but it's not too neutral. It is just perfect. So, so beautiful. I do feel like this is a perfect like spring summer blush. So, so gorgeous. I'm gonna rock it all winter because I just got it and I just fell in love with it, but this would be perfect for spring and summer. Next, I want to talk to you about the contour that I used. You guys know I use the same contour. I am very, very predictable when it comes to my contour, just because it's so difficult for me to find one that actually works for me. So I used my Profusion Highlight and Contour 1 palette. Of course, I used the shade Light Sculpt on the bottom in the middle. Beautiful, beautiful contouring shade. I just put a little bit on my cheekbones and the hollows of my cheeks just to kind of shape my face a little bit. I also did just a little bit around my jawline to give my face a bit more shape. I put a little bit around my hairline. The same place I put my contour is where I put my cream bronzer. I put the cream bronzer down first, and then I go over it with my contour. For highlight today, I used a different highlight. This is the Revolution Pro Supreme Highlighter. This is the gold one. Oh, so good. I used this shade right here today. They don't have shade names, I don't believe. I don't believe they have shade names, but I use this really beautiful kind of like peachy champagne-y one right here. So gorgeous. So, so beautiful. It kind of just melted into my skin. These highlighters are insane, guys. I have it pretty much all over my face. But what I like about it, I thought it was going to be a bit glittery. While I was looking at it in the pan, I thought I was kind of worried. I just got a NYX one, and one side is really, really beautiful. It's the Born to Glow NYX Dual Highlighter. And one is really, really beautiful, but the other side has like these big glitter particles in it. Really, really not the biggest fan of that, and I was afraid that this was going to look like that. It does not, thank the Lord. It is just a really beautiful, kind of like blinding, peachy highlight. So freaking gorgeous. I will tell you that the lightest touch is needed. This will probably last me forever. I barely used any of it on my face, and I am just glowing to the gods. My highlight is insane, and I am here for it. It is so, so beautiful. Highly recommend. I actually got this highlight palette on sale for $3.50, so I would pay that a million times over for this highlighting palette. So, so gorgeous. I haven't used these two shades yet, but if they're anything like this one, oh, so, so beautiful. Very, very happy to have that in my collection. Is that everything I used on my face today? I believe it is. Oh, I used my Candid Concealer. You guys know that I love this Revlon Candid Concealer. I use the shade 005. It's perfect. So, so good. This is going to be my go-to concealer all winter. I can just I can just feel it. It doesn't leave any kind of powdery residue on my skin. It's not super full coverage, but there is enough coverage there to kind of like disguise any kind of like dark circles that I have going on. And not only that, but it sets itself, so I don't have to powder it, and it doesn't crease, so I don't have to worry about like having to check in the mirror every 10 minutes to pat out my creasing under my eyes. So beautiful. It really gives me such a sense of like security knowing that my under eyes are just like in good shape and I really don't have to mess with them. I am so happy that I found this concealer. Thank you, Lord. Such a great one. For primer today, I used 3 different primers. I did not use my glass skin one, but I did use I used the Oma by Sharon C, the Born to Glow or Ready Set Glow, Primed to Glow primer. Really good. I love this stuff. Gives your face a really beautiful healthy glow, like a lit from within. There's no, but without the like Tin Man kind of that some glowy primers tend to give you. This is a really good one. I love this one so much. I also used my L'Oreal Magic Base. I love this thing. I just kind of put this one around my nose, just where my pores are the biggest. I put a little bit around my upper lip, a little bit on my chin and the tip of my nose. Really gorgeous. It blurs everything out. It hides all of your flaws, all your bad decisions, and just makes it seem like baby skin. Love it so much. Love this primer. This primer is about $10 at Walmart. I highly recommend this one. Love it so much. Is that what I used? I think that's everything I used today, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go ahead and start with our eyes. So into it. Let me just give you guys a slow-mo of this really beautiful eye look. So into it. I feel like this is really, it's just arresting. I mean, it just like grabs your eye, and especially since I went so minimal with the rest of the face, it's just beautiful. It's just attention grabbing. It was not very difficult to do. Super quick, super easy. I used 3 palettes, but I feel like you could probably find a palette that would have all of these shades in it. I just don't own it. So beautiful, so easy to do, and I feel like this is just completely wearable. I know a lot of the stuff I do is pretty loud, but this one is just so gorgeous, so gorgeous, and I feel like it is completely 100% wearable. Even if you're like not big into color, I feel like you could totally wear this one. So the first palette that I used is the Revolution Color Book. This is the 02 Color Book. So this is just a double-sided palette, but on one side you've got mattes, and on the other side you've got shimmers. This is just a great palette. I love this so much. Anytime I want to do like a neutral look and really can't find the exact shade that I'm looking for, I just check this one and it's in here. It's got some really beautiful warm tones. You've got a couple of cool tones as well. There's really just a little bit of everything in here, and I really love that one side is completely matte, and then on the other side you've got the corresponding shimmer shades. You've got this really neat plastic divider in between. You flip it over, and then here are your shimmer shades. Really beautiful. I love this palette. I got this on sale for $10, I believe. I believe I paid $10 for it. Worth every penny. So good. The next palette that I used is the Moira. This is the Wild in Colors palette. Really beautiful palette. I only used 2 shadows out of this palette. I used this really beautiful blue one and then this dark brown here. Super gorgeous palette. The next one is another Revolution palette. This is the Revolution Integrity Wild Animal palette. Really beautiful palette, just visually very attractive palette. So you've got the zebra print on the front, and then the back is this really beautiful kind of like clear blue. You open it up, and this is what your color story looks like. Again, I only used, I believe, 1 color out of this palette. I used this really beautiful vivid turquoise color. I just put that in the middle, kind of like a spotlight kind of thing. Really beautiful though. So I will stop talking and we will go right ahead and get into this eye look. I am so excited to show you guys how I did this. Really easy. I'm going to go into my color book first. I'm going to go in to the matte side, and I'm going to start with my transition area, and I'm going to go into these 2 colors here. So I'm going to mix both of these colors and put it all over my transition area. To do that, I'm just going to use a big fluffy brush. This is the fluffy brush that I got out of that 3-pack from Walmart, of all places. I don't remember the brand, but it was just hanging on the end of an aisle, kind of like you know, last chance, whatever, the last chance section or new arrival, but it was just a pack of 3 brushes. It was $3 and it's actually really, really nice. I'm going to take this. It's just kind of like a mid-sized fluffy blending brush. I'm going to go into these 2 colors right here. And I'm just going to start putting this all over my transition area. Now, they're not going to show up a ton, but what this is going to do is just start giving me a base, because what I'm looking for is a really beautiful brown gradient. I want to start off really, really light and then build up in intensity and depth the closer I get to my eyelid, so that way it's not as jarring when you get to the blue eyeshadow. I really want to make this transition as seamless as I possibly can. Again, I'm going to fluff it out on the outer part of my eye, not going towards my temples, just kind of fluffing it out. Doing a really beautiful kind of like messy, smoky eye. It's my favorite type of eye look. And I like mixing these 2 shades so I can kind of control the pigment. Again, I'm taking that from outer to inner corner and really kind of keeping it in my natural eye contour. I'm not taking it up onto the side of my nose like I usually do. I'm just kind of keeping it tucked into the corner of my eye and just using windshield wiper motions. Oh, I also have a little bit of that highlighter up underneath my eyebrow, because I just couldn't, I eventually ran out of places to put it. Oh, but I wanted as much of it on my face as I could possibly get. So I actually will probably dip into it again and put a little bit on my inner corner. I don't know if I'm going to use that or if I'm going to use my Kat Von D. So I'm going to have to think about it. Just windshield wiper motions. You don't have to worry about getting it all the way down to your crease. Just really kind of building up that pigment. I don't want it to get lost behind the darker colors that we're going to put on in just a minute. So I really want to take my time and build up that pigment. I'm just doing little bits at a time. Again, it's all about control. I don't want to build up too much pigment too quickly. It is always easier to add than it is to subtract. You can always put more makeup on your face, but it's very, very difficult to take it off once you put it there. So I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that pigment. If I want more later, I can always go back and add more. Now I'm going to move on to a slightly smaller brush. And for that, I am going to use this. Again, it's just out of that 3-pack that I got at Walmart. This is just a slightly smaller fluffy brush. And I'm going to go into these 2 colors. Now, they're really beautiful and warm. So the 2 colors that I used first were these 2. So now I'm just moving over 1 row and I'm going to start to mix both of these colors. And I'm going to stick this closer to my crease. Not directly in my crease, but just a little bit closer. And again, I'm taking it from inner to outer corner. Not blowing it out quite as high as I took our first colors. I don't want that first set of colors to get lost. Now that I've got a really nice amount of pigment there, I'm going to go back into that first brush. I'm going to dip back into the first 2 colors, and I'm just going to start to blend and soften. This look is all about blending. The gradient is really, really important. So we really want to make sure that none of our colors get lost, and we really want to make sure that everything is very, very nicely blended. I really want to make sure that I don't have any kind of harsh lines. Just kind of using back and forth motions and barely putting any pressure on my skin. Just kind of flicking my brush back and forth to disperse the powder. And now we've got a really beautiful gradient. It never looks as blended on my phone as it does in real life. So just take my word for it. It is beautifully blended. We have a beautiful gradient going on. So now we're going to move on to an even darker color. We are going to use this Real Techniques brush. This is just, I believe it's a shader brush. Yes, just a tiny little shader brush. What it is a fairly flat, kind of fluffy brush. And we're going to dip into this really beautiful, deep, warm color right here. So these are the first, these two were the first two colors that we used. These were the second two, and now we're going to dip into this one. They don't have shade names, so I'm trying to let you guys know which ones I'm using. So this really beautiful, kind of like deep, very warm rust color. And we're going to take just a little bit of that. We don't want too much. This one is very, very pigmented. So we're going to take just a bit of it on the tip of our brush, and we're going to stick it right into our crease. We're not going to take this all the way to our inner corner. Really just doing a little bit at a time. Only taking about 3/4 of the way through. Really putting it in our crease. And just deepening it up. We're doing this because we want the contrast. We want it to seem almost like a cut crease, so that's why we're putting that really nice deep color right there. Doing it slightly above my natural crease as well. Now we're going to go back in to that blending brush, same the first brush that we used. We're not going to put any extra product on it. We're just going to go over everything one more time. Again, just using back and forth motions. Really making sure that everything is nice and blended. Okay, let me look up close at my mirror real quick. Really, really pretty. I do want to blend. I'm going to go back into that slightly denser blending brush, and I'm going to blend my outer corner just a bit more, just to kind of soften this line. Really, really gorgeous. We're going to go into the same color book palette, but we're going to go over to the... It's the only thing I don't like about this little divider is it's a pain in the butt to get flicked over sometimes. And I'm going to go into this really beautiful kind of like warm toned... I want to say it's a champagne, but it's almost like a peachy champagne, but a very, very light golden peach champagne. So we're going to go into this one. We're going to take that on a brush. Let's use this blue one. I don't know what brand this is. It's just kind of like a packing brush. We're going to go into this shimmer shade right here. And we're going to pack this up under our brow, just under the arch. If we do too much of this, it's going to seem very, very dated. So just doing a touch and tucking it right up underneath the arch of my brow, like so. And then we're going to move on to our eyelid. This is one of the fun parts. We're going to go right in to this beautiful deep matte blue color. We're going to use a very tiny flat packing brush to do this. I'm going to use my Dew Color 08. It is just a very, very tiny, flat, precise packing brush. And this shadow is super pigmented, guys. Like, this is not one of those formulas that you can, like, dig into. I literally just pat. That is literally all you need. I'm just going to pat into there and start packing this on my outer corner. I am not taking it any further up than my crease. And I'm just using patting motions. I don't want to like rub and like swish back and forth because that's going to make the blue pigment fly everywhere. I really want to take my time and I don't want fallout. This is a darker pigment, so there will be fallout. That's why I'm saying just get the tiniest amount on your brush at a time and really work in thin layers. So you don't have to deal with that fallout. But this is such a saturated eyeshadow, so easy to work with. You just have to take little bits at a time. But that really didn't take me any time at all, and I have that really beautiful, rich royal blue pigment. So gorgeous. I'm going to do the same thing on my inner corner. Taking the same shade with the same brush, I'm just going to pack it. Don't you love the eyeshadow faces you make? Again, not taking it any higher than my crease. And I'm going to leave a spot right in the middle of my eye. And that's it. I'm not going to go into the blue eyeshadow anymore. That's all. We really just kind of created a little bit of a halo effect. And we're going to put a little bit of concealer down now. Just to really make the blue shimmer that we're about to use really pop. To do that, I'm going to use one of my very cheapest brushes. I'm going to use an AOA brush. This is the AOA Studios E122 brush. It's just a very tiny, very thin, very stiff packing brush. And I'm going to use the smallest amount, the teeniest, tiniest, smallest amount of concealer. I'm just going to take, boop, really, that is all I need. And I don't even need all of this. I'm going to take the very tip of my brush and just get the tiniest bit. I'm going to tap the edges with my finger just to kind of fade the edges just a little bit. Now I'm going to go into my other Revolution palette. I'm going to go into that really beautiful bright turquoise shimmer. To place this on my eye, I'm just going to use this no brand brush. It's just a flat packing brush. This one's nice and stiff. Now I just took that concealer up to my eyelid, or to my crease. And just packing that light blue shade on top of the concealer. Now, when I've got it packed, I'm going to take my brush and take the tip of it and go back and forth over both edges. To really blend them out and kind of soften things. But that's it. Now you've got this very slight spotlight. It's very well blended. Everything looks very cohesive and it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous, darling, and I love it so, so much. Oh, I'm so in love with it. I'm going to go back into my Moira palette. And I'm going to use this really beautiful deep chocolate brown. I'm going to take just a pencil brush. For this one, I'm going to use another AOA Studios brush. This is my E124, so it's just a small pencil brush. I'm going to dip the very tip into this beautiful deep brown. And I'm just going to put this directly in my crease. Just not doing a ton. Just the teeniest, tiniest amount. I'm going to go back over it with the slightly denser blending brush that we used. This is just going to intensify that kind of cut crease look that we want. It's barely noticeable, but it's so beautiful, and it really makes just a giant difference. So gorgeous. Now I did get a little bit of fallout with the blue pigment. Even though I was very, very gentle with it, it does happen. I'm going to take a Q-tip and some micellar water, and I'm going to gently clean up my under eye area. Like that. We are going to put like a darker color down there, so we don't have to worry too awful much about it. We're going to go right back in to our Revolution color book, and we're going to dip into those same first two colors that we used. I'm going to take mine on, let's go back in with our Real Techniques brush. So this was the shader brush. I'm going to clean it off really, really well first. Make sure I don't have any of that dark pigment left. And again, I'm going to mix these two shades. And I'm going to start fluffing it out underneath my eye. making sure that I connect it to my outer corner. Just kind of getting that pigment on there. Next, I'm going to take a smaller brush. I'm going to go into my Morphe Nikita. This is the N6. This is like my favorite detail brush. It's just a very, very tiny blending brush. And I'm going to go into the second two colors that we used. So these two right here, I'm going to mix these again, taking more of the lighter one than the darker one. And I'm going to do the same thing, keeping it closer to my lash line this time and making sure to connect the outer corner. I do like to keep it closer, much closer to my lash line, especially at the inner corner. I find that if I blow it out too much on my inner corner, it tends to make my eyes look droopy. So I like to keep it really nice and close to my lash line on my inner corner, and then really fluff it out on the outer corner. Gorgeous. I'm gonna go in with an angled brush. I'm gonna use my Dew Color one. So this is just a Dew Color angled brush. I'm gonna go into the deepest color that we used in this palette, this really warm rust color. And I'm going to take this directly on my lash line. From outer to inner corner. Creating a smoky liner situation. I'm going to go back into the small blender. And I'm just going to go over it. Very, very lightly. Very gentle pressure. And just blend that line. Just a little bit. And that is our under eye. Really simple, really easy, really, really beautiful. We're going to go in with a blue eyeliner. This is the Maybelline New York Unstoppable eyeliner. This is in the shade Sapphire. I'm going to take this on my upper and lower waterline. It's a really beautiful, really creamy, very pigmented eye pencil. Maybelline makes some of my favorite eyeliners for sure. Just kind of add a little bit of more depth and drama to the eye. Really, really beautiful. I am so in love with it. Now, for this one, I put just a little bit of shimmer on my inner corner. For that, I'm going to use this e.l.f. one. This is in the shade Disco Queen. I love this. It's my pretty much my go-to anytime I want to add just a little bit of sparkle and shimmer. I'm just going to take the tiniest amount of it on the back of my hand, and I'm going to go in with my e.l.f. small angled brush. And I'm just going to kind of paint it onto my inner corner. And kind of drag it across my lash line. It's not a giant detail, but when the light hits your eye and it really catches all that sparkle, it really does make a big, big difference. It's really just a beautiful, tiny little detail. All we have left to do is a little bit of mascara and mascara primer. I am not going to bore you guys to death with me doing my mascara, but for the most part, this is our very beautiful brown and blue eye look. So, so lovely. I will talk to you about what I have on my lips real quick. For lip liner today, I used my NYX lip pencil. This is just in the shade brown. I really focused on my Cupid's bow. And the bottom curvature of my bottom lip. And then I went over that with this really beautiful warm Milani lipstick. This is the glossy Milani formula. It really feels like a lip balm. It is such a comfortable formula to wear. This is in the shade 110 Lustful. It's a really beautiful, almost rosy lip color, but I find that with this eye look, it just kind of ties into that warmth that we have going on with our transition area, just kind of ties everything in together. And then when it fades, it has this really beautiful, very neutral, oh, it's just so, so gorgeous. I love the entire combination. I love the whole look together. And I just plain love doing my makeup. I hope you guys enjoy sitting there watching me. I do love you all so, so very much. I am so, so grateful for you guys. I'm so thankful that you watch my videos. I'm just a grateful, thankful lady. That's all. I love you all so, so very much. As always, I will post the finished pics over on my page, Makeup for the Everyday Mama, MAHMA. So please head on over there and check those out. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave me a thumbs up. I would really, really appreciate it. And yeah, stay tuned. Yeah, hit the notifications so you guys will see my next video because it's coming. It is coming soon. And that's it, guys. I love you so, so much. Stay safe. Take care of yourselves. And remember, you're important.